Hi there, and welcome to the tutorial on your new Deluxe cooking blender. I know you're excited, and I'm sure that you have lots of questions, so let's just dive right in and answer them for you. The Deluxe cooking blender is a power tool that is amazing in your kitchen. You are going to get so much use out of it. Let me tell you about all the different features it has. First of all, it has a smoothie feature, which I'm sure that you know how to make smoothies, but you could use frozen fruit in here, you can use almond milk, you can use regular milk, you can use ice, water, whatever you feel like you want to put into your smoothie is going to grind it very nicely. Spinach, all of that kind of stuff is just going to be pureed to the most perfect consistency. Now, there's an alternative milk setting, which means that you can actually make your own almond milk. So you can put almonds that are in here, you can take them, they need to be soaked for about maybe 4 hours. Once you've done that, you'll go ahead and you'll drain the almonds, put them in, and then you're gonna add fresh water into here, and there's a recipe for it inside your cooking blender guide that you received. In here, you're gonna hit the alternative milk setting and it's just gonna blend everything perfectly. There are some accessories that come with your blender that are gonna help you with that. One of them is this puree or the straining bag. So if you want to strain your almond milk and you don't want the pulp in there, you just would run it right through here, put it over some sort of bowl or container. I like our quick stir pitchers because it works out perfectly, and you can actually hang the bag from the lid of the quick stir pitcher and it will drain everything. Once you're done, you kind of want to work it all down till the pulp gets to the bottom. You can turn this bag inside out and get the pulp out, and guess what? You can use that pulp for doing muffins or breads or different things. There's lots of things that you can use that pulp for. You can dry it out, you can puree it again. It makes a really nice almond flour. So if you're interested in doing that, go ahead and let me know and I'll happily get you those instructions, but this is what that bag is for. Let's go on to the next thing. So there's a grind setting, and in a few minutes I'm gonna make some peanut butter and show you how to use it. It's super easy to do, but the grind setting is so much more than just peanuts. The other day I used the grind setting for Parmesan cheese. I chopped it all up, put little chunks in here, and then I just hit the grind setting for maybe 30 seconds at the most, and you had perfectly grind Parmesan cheese. Excuse me. So I would also use the grind setting for coffee beans. Do you know it's cheaper to buy coffee beans than it is to buy ground coffee? Especially if you're going to a place like Costco, you don't want to have to worry about hitting the grinder on the way out. You can easily just use this, do as much as you need, and it will grind it very nice. Plus, if there's a little residue left over, it makes for a really nice smoothie. You could make a coffee smoothie if you wanted to. So that's a fun tip. There's a soup setting. So imagine that you are making butternut squash soup and you don't want to have to saute everything in your pan and make sure that it gets really soft. You can actually put hard chunks of butternut squash. I would do them, quartered, so they're about yay big, in here. Then you can add some ginger, some chicken stock, and an onion, and you can quarter the onion and throw it in there as well. Then you just hit the soup setting. In 30 minutes, you're gonna have fresh soup. I've done tomato soup, potato soup, butternut squash. The sky's the limit. There's a really great recipe for a broccoli and cheese soup, and I think that you would really enjoy that as well. So highly recommend the soup setting, especially in the fall. The other setting is the sauce setting. So if you have carrots that you want to puree down and put some nice seasoning with it, maybe our savory maple or maybe some sort of rosemary and herb, and you want to do that, carrots, a little butter, and you can go ahead and make a really nice sauce setting, but it makes a really nice Alfredo sauce as well. And I've done that a couple of times and it's perfect. And you just don't know what kind of goes into jarred and frozen things. And so in order not to preserve it, you can make it fresh at home and then you wouldn't have to worry about all of the ingredients that go in there. And the Alfredo sauce can be used obviously over pasta, but you can use it in a chicken pot pie or things like that as well. Then there is a heated puree setting. So again, if you wanted to do like baby food or things like that and you want to heat things up, you can do that. But heated purees too can be any sort of vegetable that you would like to puree up and have it heated. Finally, there's a jam setting, and I think that was my most exciting setting. So I have taken before strawberries and filled it up with the recipe. I think it's about 3 cups of strawberries. I've actually left the tops on them because again, it purees so beautifully that you don't even need to worry about taking off the tops and the stems. I will put that in, and I put in some low sugar pectin. I like a low sugar jam, so it's easier to make it this way, but you can make whatever recipe you'd like. And again, Pampered Chef has many recipes for you to try out. I've made peach jam, I've made pear jam, lots of different things. So you can put it in here, put in your pectin, and then hit the jam setting. Once it goes, probably about 30 minutes into it, it's gonna beep for you. This carafe is gonna get really warm. This thing can heat up to 220 degrees, so make sure that you don't touch the outside of it. Once the beeping happens, you would just take the lid off and you would add a 1/4 cup of sugar, and then you would close it back up again, and then you're gonna go ahead and hit the start button again one more time, and it's going to know that you've added your items, and then you're gonna go ahead and just make your jam. So it's so easy to do, and then you can take like a prep bowl or two and you can fill them. I would just fill them to about here on the prep bowl just to give it a little time to kind of set up and expand a little bit. And then I've taken it once it's cooled, put it in my refrigerator, but if I don't need it and I have multiple things of jam, I will actually stick it in the freezer because it freezes beautifully, and then you have fresh jam on hand all the time. So easy, and again, you know what's going in it, so there's not a lot of preservatives. So let's talk about your accessories. So we already talked about the bag, but then everything else that comes with it. It has a tamper, so when I'm doing the peanuts in a little bit, I'm gonna show you, but you can tamper this. You guys, you could make homemade hummus in here. There's a recipe for chocolate hummus I just found, which is so yummy and delicious, and that is a great dessert thing, especially if you're trying to watch your weight and you wanna eat something that's got a little sweetness to it, but it's not so bad for you. Additionally, we actually have a smoothie attachment that goes on here. So yes, you can make smoothies in the items, but what you want to do, or inside the carafe, I guess I should say, but this right here is an actual smoothie adapter attachment that you can purchase separately. In here comes this great little blade, and then it can attach to your cup that is right here. You can fill it with spinach and almond milk and so forth. They just don't recommend you fill it to the top. So I'd recommend filling it right about here because again, everything can expand. You would stick it down inside of here. It hits there's little notches that it has. You would lock it into place. When it locks into place, and as a matter of fact, let's turn it on so you can hear it. So the first time that you do it, it'll have like the lid button here. Let me show you. See, it says lid right there. So that basically means it's looking for the lid to be closed. Once I do that, it makes that noise. So it opens and it closes. So once it's done that, it means it's secure. Then I can press the start button. I can custom blend it, or I can go ahead and do it on the smoothie setting. I usually custom blend the cup because it can get a little powerful. So once you do that, you just take this lid off and you go ahead and you can drink your smoothie right out of here. And as a matter of fact, it comes with a little cup on it that's got a little lid here. So that makes it really nice as well. Let me tell you a little bit about, it comes with this great little cleaning brush, but there's really not a lot to clean. It's pretty smooth, it's very easy to clean, and it looks very nice. We sell an additional attachment that is this long, skinny scraper. It's really thick, so if you wanted to get in there and you were worried about the blades, you don't have to worry about that because you can get down in there and you can clean things really easily. So I'm gonna stick this back on here, and I'm gonna talk to you about a few things. See how it says that it's right there, and it knows that the lid's on. If I opened it, it would be that the lid would be off. So it's very smart. This piece right here is what's called a boil over. And so you would use this if you're at a high altitude. You would stick it in the top and it would sit up here, and it actually vents. You can see there's like a little bit of a thing right down inside of here that you can, it vents out like the steam in the air and stuff. So if you're at a high altitude and you're using this, give me a shout and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you walk through this. So let's talk a little bit about the thing that is my favorite. It's the heated wash setting. So if you are going to do a heated wash, you can put 3 cups of water and a couple of drops of dish soap. Please make sure it's not the Dawn Power Wash. The Dawn Power Wash, for some reason, it goes everywhere. It really expands, especially under heat and friction. So you want to make sure it's just regular dish soap. 3 drops should do you. You'll go ahead and you'll put it in, you'll turn it to the heated wash, and it will start warming, and then it's going to start pureeing, and in about 2 minutes your thing's going to be completely clean. You want to rinse it out right away, don't leave it sitting there, and then once you've done that, you can just let it air dry. So you don't need to put this in the dishwasher. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to, and you don't have to worry about cleaning it because it's going to come up clean beautifully. So again, with the peanut butter today, I'll probably add some almond milk to it and make a little smoothie, but let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm basically just going to to put a thing of roasted peanuts. Now, I could actually add honey to this if I wanted to. I could add a little bit of